What's up, Devils Nation, and welcome into another edition of Coach's Corner. I am joined today by head men's and women's swim coach, Rich Palm. Rich, thank you for joining Coach's Corner today.
Hey, thanks for having me. Nice to see you again.
So talk to me, okay? And let the Devils Nation know where Rich Palm got his coaching career started and why he decided to become a coach.
So I actually started coaching when I was in high school. Just the local summer league team is where everything initially started out for me. But as a career path, I would say I started coaching club the year out of college. Initially, it was just a means to earn some income. I had the background in swimming because of swimming in college and having a good pedigree there. And then I just grew to love it. I think I enjoy and also get more nervous for my kids' races more than when I ever swam. So I think it's a good sign. I think it means I care more about their races than my own, which is a good thing now. So then that carried into St. Peter's. I actually got kind of lucky with that one. It was a long story, but by December of that year, I was already the head coach of that team and kind of was thrown to the fire, and it was a great experience. And then 2 years later, I ended up here at FDU and been here ever since, and I couldn't be happier.
Can you mention some of those people, maybe mentors, and how they've affected your career to this day?
Yeah, so I think if I ran through everybody, the list would be a mile long. Again, I can't thank people enough. When it comes to a philosophy of coaching, I just kind of took bits and pieces from everybody. So I would say primarily the primary influencer was Judy Montalbano. She was the head coach and owner of the club team I'd started with. And she's a fountain of information. She's been doing it for so many years, and I can't thank her enough. And my assistants there, Eric Hars, Brian Hoffman, Pat Collins, they all were huge help for me starting out, steering me with just running practice and stroke technique correction and when's a good time to do, when's a good time to be hard on someone, when's a good time to lay off. And then when college coaching, my head coach, Brian Loeffler, when I swam in college at Loyola, called him a lot about the logistics of college coaching and how to do it and where to recruit. And, again, the list is a mile long with things and questions I asked him, and it helped a ton. And now, now that I'm starting to kind of grasp the concept year by year, more and more, now I'm just trying to do the same thing for people that I know want to get into coaching. So I think now my biggest thing is I'm still always learning, but I want to kind of pass on the process that I went through to other people who I know want to do the same thing down the road.
So it seems to me like you're turning into a mentor to some of your former players and current players for their coaching career. And you just mentioned the mentors that helped you in your career. So now touch on some of the coaching styles that you both like and don't like that have developed into who Rich Palm is and the type of coaching style he brings to the pool every single day.
So I would say some of the things I used to do are some of the things I don't like now. And again, it kind of goes back to that process of kind of learning and trial by fire and just kind of adapting and quality over quantity in some aspects. Knowing when to push, knowing when not to push, especially with college athletes because they have so much on their plate. They've got their academics they need to worry about. They have their, a job possibly. Then obviously they have a lot more on their plate. They're not just living at home. So they got to take care of a lot more things that just a high school athlete wouldn't have to take care of. And I think the biggest thing with that is, again, there is a line where you can do too much. And I think every year I've done this, I've kind of reassessed where that line is. It's finding that happy medium of what's enough and what's not enough. And I think I'm starting to finally find that perfect groove. And again, it may be perfect for 2 years and may have to get changed again. But again, kind of reassessing. And the biggest thing too is finding a couple of swimmers who I really trust their opinion and really trust how they feel, and they can be dead honest with me. and kind of just going through them because they can give me great feedback on some of the theories that I have. But again, I can only, theorize. I can't, fully apply it until I have actual, data coming back to me from the kids and their times and how they feel and all those things. So.
And part of that development as a coach, Rich, is who you recruit to your program, because you mentioned student athletes that you trust that can give you their honest opinion to better the training process of the program. So talk to me about how you go about the recruiting process, because you're the head coach for both the men and the women's program. So you have equally a double duty almost, making sure that you bring the right student athletes, not only into each individual program, but because your program acts as one team, male and female, you want to make sure it fits the program as a whole. So just talk to us about your recruiting process and who you look for to bring into the FDU swimming family.
All right. So I'll start out this answer by saying what I don't do. And the number one thing I don't do is just strictly pigeonhole people based on times. I think you could have someone who's phenomenal swimmer, but if they aren't into it, if they are going to be disruptive to the team environment, they're going to rock the boat, if they're going to quit after a year, whatever the case may be, they're not the person for being here at FDU. So again, obviously times get factored in. It would be stupid not to. But yeah, going back to your question, recruits that want to be at FDU. And I know that might sound like a simple, dumb answer, but you got to want to be here and you got to want to swim. And if you do want those two things, then you're a perfect fit for the program, because I know you'll be here for 4 years. You will be a great asset to the team. You'll work hard. You'll appreciate your teammates. And that's basically what I'm looking for.
So once you find that student athlete that you've identified as the perfect devil for your swimming program, and they become a part of the FDU family, what values do you look to instill in your swimmers and your program during their time on the Florham campus?
Now, I think this answer probably can get regurgitated a lot as well, but consistency and hard work definitely are big things, whether it's the pool or the classroom. You got to be consistent. You don't have to be 95% every day, but you got to be 85% every day. And it's one of those things where you can't make up for 240% days with 100% day. And I think a lot of people have that mentality when it comes to a lot of things in life. You can't make up for 2 bad nights of sleep with sleeping 12 hours the next day. You can't make up for a bad diet with, exercising a lot, or you can't make up for a bad diet with eating salad over the weekend or whatever it may be. But you can't make up for not paying attention in class for 2 weeks and then cramming for the test. For swimming, you can't not show up to practice 2 days and then have a great practice the third day. It doesn't work that way. So the biggest thing is just being consistent, and the other thing is communication, whether it's with your professors, whether it's me, you're having trouble with something, or you need to have something adjusted, or you're going through something tough, which everybody right now seems to be, you have to communicate that. I can't read minds. So, and I hope that the kids on the team all know this, and it seems to me that they do, because we do have a lot of one-on-one meetings where people will come to me, whether it's help in school or something they need to talk about privately. But I think that's one of the things I, as a coach, take the most pride in is that they feel comfortable enough to come to me and to trust me. And that makes me happy. And that kind of justifies everything I'm doing, because while I am hard on them, and I think they do know this, even when I am hard, I always want the best for them.
Over the course of my time at FDU, I can tell not only do you have a successful program, but you have some of the most respectful student athletes on campus. And I do think it comes down to that trust factor. They trust who you are as their coach. Well, they want to swim through a brick wall for you, right? They want to do anything they can for you. So it must have been difficult then when you have all these student athletes who are excited to come back for 2020, 2021, and then you have to have the conversation with them that you might not have a season, it might not be delayed, you don't really know. So yeah, how has your team handled that and the difficulties of 2020?
So this past fall, we've been having practice every day for those that want to participate. It was completely optional. Practice on a daily basis even was optional. So you could come 3 days, you could come 5 days a week. We didn't do any meets. But you know what? More than anything for me, not even to stay in shape if we had a season for the second semester, it was more just keeping them active, keeping them on a schedule to do things, getting them away from a computer screen. That was the primary objective with hosting practice this whole semester. And again, we had great attendance. I'd say probably on the top days we had probably about a third of the team here. So it was worth it. And again, I know that the kids got something out of it. Those that attend a decent amount, and it's working out because we got good news that we're going to attempt a season in the second semester. We got everybody coming back, and hopefully we can finish this out properly, especially for the seniors. I don't know what the deal is going to be with the conference meet, but again, everything's so up in the air, but at least we have hope that we're going to attempt a season, and that's all we can ask for at this point.
I have two more questions for you here on Coach's Corner, and they're probably my favorite two questions. The first one is this: why should a prospective student athlete, swimmer, non-swimmer, choose to come to FDU Florham?
I think the sense of community that we have here is probably the number one thing, whether it's the community in the whole campus environment or just the athletics department, the community environment we have. Just from also being in charge of SAC, I get to work with all athletes from all teams, and to just see how well the teams collaborate with one another and how much they support one another, whether it's, again, doing a community activity with one another, or it's coming to each other's games, and whether it's they have to work it or they're just coming there to cheer on their teammates or their classmates. But I think that's the biggest thing. And the other thing is too is in our department as coaches, we all support one another. We all get along. We all are here and are happy for each team's success. So even as a coach, I just think we keep preaching that community environment, and I think it makes you feel like you're a part of something, which is what you want from a college experience. You don't want to just be going and say, oh, here I'm going here to take classes. No, you're coming here to be part of an experience, and you're being part of joining a community and meeting all these people. And these 4 years are going to change your life. When you go in, you're going to go in one person, you're going to come out another, and you have to go somewhere where that you're going to be in a community that's going to hold you up and embrace you and support you. And that's what we have here at FDU is a community where you're being supported by not only your teachers or your professors and your coaches, but also your classmates. Everyone's supporting one another, and it's a great thing to be a part of.
It 100% is. It's all love. That's the best way I can describe it to people. It's all love. Student athlete to student athlete, coach to coach, coach to student athlete, to administration, and it's a lot of fun. Rich Palm, there's a coach out there, and they're getting ready to start their coaching career, and they need a bit of advice. If they've come to you, what advice would you give that coach starting out their career?
Don't think you know it all, and learn from people who have done it before you. Pick and choose those few people you trust or that you have seen had success, and learn from them. And you don't have to copy them, piece by piece or word by word, but pick and choose certain things you want to take from certain people, and then mold it into your own. But again, that's the biggest thing is listen and learn to start out. Don't just assume you know everything.
Head men's and women's swim coach, Mr. Rich Palm. Rich, we really appreciate you taking the time today. If you want to follow the swim programs at FDU Florham, head over to @FDU Swim on Instagram and on Twitter. We make our lives easy here. They're easy handles. And check out what Coach Palm's got going on with the swim program. Rich, thank you so much for taking the time.
Thanks for having me. Take care, and have a good holiday.
This has been Coach's Corner. As always, we end it with a horns up, Devils Nation.